Lindsay always asked me to wait 2 seconds. So I figured I'd give you guys a little jazz hands before we started. Well, you guys, a time traveler from 1960 appeared in 2006, transported to the future. But even he seemed confused about how the heck he got there. Did Sergei Ponomarenko really enter a time slip?
In other spooky events, the world's oldest ghost has been confirmed. A snake, demon, cursed lands, evil spirits, and old bones are just the beginning of the story from Ghost Ranch.
So join us for this Edge of Wonder episode to also hear about the top Halloween world records about haunted dolls, pumpkins, and more, which I'm sure Ben's going to love.
Yeah. Plus, ever wondered how to survive a zombie attack? Well, you'll find out tonight. So, and don't forget, we also have a prayer meditation at the end, along with a Q&A that you get to ask us. So, all right. We'll see you out
on the edge.
And are you listening to our Edge of Wonder podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or elsewhere? Please leave us a 5-star rating and review to help us reach even more people. And also remember to like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, Rumble, Conjuring World, Twitter, Facebook, wherever.
How's it going, Ben?
Oh man, yeah, a lot better. Yeah, both of us were
you still have a little.
Yeah, I'm still a little bit congested. I'm actually wondering if I had COVID. So,
what, did you lose your sense of smell entirely?
No,
I don't think it was. I think it was like normal stuff.
Yeah, but I couldn't believe I had a headache for almost 5 days straight.
Could have been flu though, right? Flu does that.
It does, but I've had a headache where it lasts like a day or two, maybe 3 days at the most in the past, a long time ago. But yeah, it started out with just like a headache, and then it started turning into like flu symptoms. So I don't know, weird anyway. But
yeah, I had a little old-fashioned food poisoning on Friday, which was great. Yeah,
that's rough.
Actually, for the first time in my life, I passed out while I was throwing up.
Man, that is crazy.
I was literally like, I go for the toilet, I start throwing up, and then I woke up on the floor, and I was like, "What?" And then I had to throw up again because I didn't get it all out. But apparently, I found this out after one of my friends was telling me that EMTs get called most for people passing out when they throw up. They think there's like something wrong, but there's something that happens, like because you're trying to get it all out.
Yeah,
there's like some relationship between throwing up and blood rushing to your head, and
that could
the right mixture. You pass out.
That could wow.
I literally woke up and I was like, "What is that?"
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was all good. It was good. It was good. You know, I feel like after I felt a lot better. I did a bunch of meditation, and my hands were really cold after. And then by the time I was done meditating, my hands were like blazing hot, you know?
Yeah, same thing with me too. I mean, I was meditating a lot when I was sick. It's hard when your head hurts though, because you just can't like think and focus. So that's where I was having like the biggest time with anything. I'm like, I can't even. It's like hurts to think. So I'm so glad when the headache went away.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, this is really interesting. Sergei Ponomarenko. What a strange story here.
This is a very strange story.
Yeah. Have you heard this story before?
Yeah. Well, I actually, Lindsay was bringing it up to us, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've never actually heard this story. So I really like dived into it today and did some research. So the backstory is that supposedly this man, Sergei Ponomarenko, who, by the way, shares the exact same name as a 1980s Olympic medalist, figure skating. He was a figure skating champion that he did a pair with another.
Maybe he figure skated so fast he went back or forward.
Speed of light. combined with CERN.
I feel like that woman is much more into it than he is. He's just like, why did someone hairspray my hair like this?
Yeah. So they were like very famous, I guess, throughout the 80s specifically. Which so that researching this made it really hard because everything comes up on the skater. So I was like, wow, this is this was a little bit more challenging. So okay, the story is that he was in his late 20s. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he was from 1958 in his late 20s, and then all of a sudden, supposedly he shows up in 2006, and he was taken in by the police on suspicious behavior. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes. And this is in the Ukraine, by the way. So, and supposedly he had an ID from the Soviet Union, which was completely dissolved by the 2006. And there are photos of this guy, and supposedly he had clothes on from the 50s along with like his passport. The story goes into even more deep.
That's a dude.
That looks like a Chinese guy.
This is just an example of a Russian or Ukrainian passport.
Thank
This is not him.
That looks like
it kind of looks like a Chinese.
I was like, yeah.
Or an ID.
Isn't his original one, and it's in the article, right?
Actually, no, it's not. There's a lot of images that are going around the internet that turned out to be from a TV show that did an expose on this Sergei story. So a lot of people who debunk the story use the photos to do that because they say, oh, this was Photoshopped, this is from a movie, the background doesn't match up, whatever. But actually, because that TV show seems to need images and B-roll, I think that they just tried to make reenactments, and that doesn't mean that the story is not real.
Correct. And actually, it's a TV show called Aliens, but it's all in Ukrainian. It's in Ukraine and everything. So that's probably So that's what people are saying. Oh, this has been officially debunked because the screenshots people are using, and I don't know what the story is in that show. I don't think this is the story, but it could be. And then, like, a lot of times, like, these things, like these shows and TV shows and whatnot, like, mimic real life too, and then it makes it even more confusing. So yeah, and supposedly he even had a hammer that was from that era in the 50s. So
a camera, you mean?
A camera. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. And so he was an expert in photography, was brought in to develop the old film. It showed photos of Sergei and a woman dressed in old 50s clothing. And
yeah, there was more too. Like, he was interviewed by a psychiatric doctor, and he said when he was 25, he said he was 25 and remembered walking in Kiev with his fiance, Valentina Kurish, taking a photo with her, and then some accounts say he saw something strange in the sky. Now, this is where the photos come in, that you were just saying, because he had a vintage camera with him, and he was supposedly an expert in photography and was brought. Oh, an expert in photography, excuse me. He was not an expert, but an expert in photography was brought in to develop the old film. It showed photos of him and a woman dressed in the old 50s, and this was his fiance. This, apparently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. You can keep going if you want.
Okay, yeah. So basically it showed photos of Sergei and a woman dressed in the 50s. Sergei said he had taken a photo of the strange flying object as well, which is kind of a bizarre thing to say if you think about it.
Yeah, right before he disappeared, he sees something weird in the sky, supposedly photographs it. Then when the police are questioning him, they get the film developed by an expert in photography from the past. And supposedly there are photos of him with this girl and a photo of a UFO.
Now check this out. Valentina was in her 70s by then and told them that Sergei had disappeared for a few days in 1958. He was able to, I mean, I guess he was able to see into the future and talked about cell phones that would exist. That's what she said. That's crazy. This is like one of the more legit examples of a
Yeah,
time.
well, unless this is all part of the show, that's part of the problem. Now, like debunking some of this, some people who repeat the story say that the interview was done on camera. However, it seems that all photos and video proof going around from so everything that we're seeing going around the internet is all from this Ukrainian TV show called Aliens. And so that's what they've like, oh, this
Right.
has now been debunked. A lot of mainstream media have been reporting on this story actually, because it went so viral on social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram and whatnot. However, I looked into some past newspapers to try to see if like this guy ever was like reported missing or anything else. That's what I could not find anything of. But then again, looking for this guy was hard because everything comes up is
Well, it's
the
by the way, it's
theater
Ukraine.
guy. Yeah,
It's-
and that's the other problem. It's in Ukraine. So
No
I
one
mean,
cares if you disappear
one
in the
person
Ukraine.
missing in 1958, you're not going to see like American reports on anything like that.
Or even in Ukraine, you're probably not. No one cares. They're like, give me some bread to eat.
Yeah. So I did look at I also looked in Google search to see to see anything in the past too, to see if like, something came up on this guy. I didn't really find anything, but again, it's hard because I was trying to filter out the ice skating guy. So I did look at things from the 50s all the way up until like the 70s, but again, I didn't really find so much. So it's really hard to say, if and the other aspect is like, we know how like these things work, we take something that's actually true. And then it's like, well, we'll just kind of like, put this in Hollywood, do a film about it. And now if anyone talks about it, it's just like, oh, it's fake because, it's from a movie like E.T., for example, So, but
yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Rob?
Well, what's weird is it also says here that Sergei disappeared a second time in 1970 and was never seen again. He allegedly sent Valentina a photo from 2050, though, that showed an older looking Sergei and Kiev with skyscrapers that didn't exist in 1958 or 2006. 2050 skyscrapers in Ukraine after this war with all the billions being pumped in there. Possibility. What it is.
Maybe.
I just debunked the debunkers right there.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know. It is a very interesting story.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I love this stuff, and also, so I've been
that out, Lindsay. Old-fashioned camera.
Yeah, it's like
You're welcome.
that isn't that. I think that's a brownie.
I don't know what that's called.
Start B. It might be the brownie camera, but I can't remember. So, I've been watching that show, Dark, for the first time finally,
Man,
because
so
everyone
good.
keeps telling. Yeah, I'm only like 5 episodes in now, but it definitely is one of those shows where I'm like, I have no idea what's really going to happen.
There's a couple,
So-
like the third season doesn't really match the first two, but at the very end of the second season, you're just like, what the heck just happened? And then some of the stuff that happens in season 2 and season 3, it's like it's a crazy ride. Crazy ride.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. If you guys haven't heard of Dark, it's kind of it kind of resembles a German Stranger Things in a way.
It's like an adult version of Stranger Things, but there's still kids and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. But there's like so many characters that you're kind of like, whoa, what's going on? Like Stranger Things, you're kind of following the floor.
I've watched it a couple of times, so I imagine if you're German it's easier because you're like you'll catch the names really quick.
Mhm.
But because the names are a little bit foreign, like one of the guys' name's Ulrich. I'm not
Yeah.
going to remember a name like Ulrich. Literally, no one in my life has that name. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny because that was the one you remember. That's like but that's the only one I remember. Like if you're asking me like what's the other names, I'm like
Jonas.
Eric.
Jonas.
Eric was one of them, and Mikkel. That's all I remember anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, but
Mikkel. His name is Mikkel.
Michael, whatever. But if
Well,
you
hey,
guys, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you guys at home, like if you like time slips and stuff, we've got a bunch of episodes both on Rise TV, if you'd like to subscribe to support us, and on Metaphysical, where we've done a bunch of time slip episodes there too. You can find that on YouTube or anywhere. So definitely check those out. That's some old school Edge of Wonder right there, if you'd like to check that out. Yeah.
Really old school. It was like the 5th episode that we did or something.
True.
But these, yeah, time, all the stuff around time is really cool. So, all right, we're going to show a trailer and when we get back, we'll get more into
the oldest ghost.
Yeah.
Is that even possible?
Why do the royals love Vlad the Impaler? What's so special about Transylvania? And why can't Queen Elizabeth eat garlic? How are bloodlines, serial killers, and vampires tied to Vlad the Impaler? And what bone-chilling details could have to do with the end of the world? We're just dying to show you what we found. Ha 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 ha! Join us for the Halloween series conclusion of Vlad the Impaler, a bloody legacy. Only on edgeofwonder.tv.
That's funny. That was a good one. It was when Radio Face was in his prime.
Yeah. Really is.
Okay, yeah. So, is it even possible to be the oldest ghost?
I don't even know. Like, what exactly does that mean? How do you track the oldest ghost?
Right. So it's called Viveron, the snake demon. This is really interesting. So Ghost Ranch in New Mexico got its name from the many alleged sightings of a huge ghostly reptile in serpentine form measuring 20 to 30 feet long. That's 6 to 9 meters long. A ghost reaching that large. Initially, it was dismissed as folklore. It acquired greater significance and attention when, in 1947, paleontologist Edwin H. Colbert unearthed a huge cache of fossil skeletons in the same area derived from various prehistoric reptiles. That's freaky.
It is really freaky.
So these not only included more than 1,000 dinosaur specimens, but also a very elongated 9-meter-long crocodile-like creature known as a phytosaur. Do we
I
have
don't know if I've ever heard of this thing.
Yeah.
What does this look like, Lindsay?
She's gonna pull up some photos.
Yeah, one sec.
A big Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's like a big alligator.
It's a big alligator. That's right. Yeah.
With a really scary mouth.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Has a lot more teeth, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have seen this.
That does not. Yeah, that doesn't look like a dinosaur. That looks like a terrifying crocodile. How big is that head? I wonder.
Too big.
Well, yeah, man.
So its discovery led to speculation that the paranormal snake demon being reported by the locals was the ghost of the phytosaur.
Wow, Ghost of the Phytosaur would make a great band name.
Dude.
Next heavy metal.
No, you know what too is
would be a good band name.
Its discovery led to the speculation that the paranormal. Okay, so the weird thing though is what people were seeing was snake, not a phytosaur.
Yeah, not a phytosaur.
Okay, so if this were true, the 20 the 220 million year old phytosaur dating from the Triassic period would be the world's oldest ghost.
You know, the only thing is, I don't think this is what they're seeing, because if you see that, you're just thinking like gigantic alligator. So if they're seeing some kind of snake demon thing, I actually think this is like something totally different, or something they're actually seeing in another dimension. Because I mean,
I have a question.
yeah,
That crocodile looks like the Epstein of crocodiles. Like, how is its head that big? Like, how is it even able to lift its head if its head is that big? It's bigger than its body.
well, I guess because everything is a lot bigger back then, so it needed like a
Even
bigger
head?
head to like chomp on stuff.
I guess.
Yeah.
Why are you showing me a tiny snake?
Because
Albino
you'd be
snake.
surprised, there are no images of ghost snakes on Google.
Oh, so you just look up albino snake.
You're like, let's
Well,
show albino snake.
Yeah,
I looked up
probably.
ghost snake and it came up with this one because it's white.
It's a ghost. It's a snake with a white sheet over it, just really tight.
I was hoping for like a ghost Anakin scenario with a snake, but nobody's photoshopped that.
You know, we got to get on Midjourney for that, I think. That's really interesting. But I think, you know what I think it is? This is my theory, is there's a lot of weird stuff seen in the Skinwalker Ranch area, right?
Yeah, a whole bunch.
A bunch of these other ranch areas. Like,
Yeah.
they're seeing things paranormal things that don't make sense. What if this is like some type of dimensional overlap in that area?
That's
And
exactly what I'm thinking.
whatever is the recipe of circumstances bringing this stuff in is somehow, you know, there's this like being that keeps getting seen over there. That's a massive size snake. I mean, it could even be a time slip of some sort where it's pulling in information from another time. I mean, most of not most of, but like a certain type of haunting is more like a memory than it is like an active being that's, you know,
Yeah, I agree.
cognizant of what it's
Well,
doing, I think.
The other aspect is it doesn't really go into detail. You know, obviously, I mean, we actually do have some information about the Ghost Ranch, but I mean, it's not getting into detail about what people are seeing. Like, I mean, when I think of like ghosts, you know, I'm not thinking of like solid physical necessarily creature or your thing. Usually it's like, you know, I mean, people have you know, I mean, I personally have seen some ghosts, but that's not like, they're like shadows more than anything else that I've seen. So I mean, if this thing is like up like walking or slithering or whatever it is, then my thinking is more of like cryptids, not so much like an actual physical ghost that but I don't know.
This
I
could
guess.
be a cryptid. It could also just be like like a skinwalker that turned into a snake instead of a freaky wolf thing or whatever, you know.
Well, I have to admit, I never really heard much of Ghost Ranch before. And
I've heard of Ghost Ranch before.
okay, there have been multiple fossils of animal jaw bones, skull fragments, hip bones, and more that have been found in the area since then. Supposedly this thing is seen only at sunset. This serpent Brujo sorry, Brujo was a 30-foot rattlesnake that lived under Mesa Herfano, a steep-sided that stood alone in the red sandlands southeast of the homestead. So Orphan Mesa.
You know what's so weird? We were bringing this up earlier in our meeting, is that Ghost Ranch was a favorite of Georgia O'Keeffe, like the painter. This woman.
Really?
So like, yeah, like she was growing up in the 80s and the 90s. You weren't cool unless you had a Georgia O'Keeffe, like.
That's all the ones with the skulls of animals that are found in the desert or.
Yeah, and so O'Keeffe, she depicted the landscape, basically landscapes, and catapulted basically the ranch into international recognition.
Wow.
Yeah, her watercolors are super famous. She donated money to them and was aghast when she wasn't sold the entire ranch and it was given instead to the Presbyterian Church.
Mm.
That's so bad. The Navajo said the land was haunted by evil spirits. So they were very aware of that. The ranch was known among locals as Ranch of the Witches.
Yeah.
Well, is it cursed? One brother ended up killing another during an argument about gold, after which a group of locals arrived at the ranch and promptly hanged the remaining brother from a tree. So there is some history there of some foul play, we'll say.
Yeah. It's interesting that the Navajo said that the land was haunted by evil spirits. So that would kind of go along with this. I mean, I think, we have no idea really what these lands, like what happened and, thousands of years ago, like who knows, you know?
I mean, obviously the land has not forgotten. It's scarred by some of this stuff.
Mhm.
Not just there too. I mean, a bunch of these places like Ghost Ranch, Skinwalker Ranch,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bradford Ranch, and there's a whole bunch of them too. Yeah, and there's actually a whole bunch in Mexico, and there's a lot of secret ranches because the owners just don't want people to like flock there. So I heard that there's actually a lot of like really weird stuff in actual Mexico, kind of across the border, like not too far away from the border of the US. There's a lot of like private ranches that all this weird stuff happens on, but it's like they don't want to talk about it.
Is it called Juarez? Just kidding. There's so much crime in Juarez. I'm sorry. I couldn't.
No, there is really. But yeah, so that's kind of, that's really, and I guess there's more in the US too, like
Have you ever like seen Juarez?
Mm-mm.
Dude, there's this one time where I was driving down Texas, like on the border, and you can literally see the wall and Juarez over the wall from the other side of Texas. It's really weird. It looks like there's literally just a wall between Texas and Juarez, which is like one of the most, like, so much crime there. You know? What I mean?
Yeah.
You could like throw a rock and hit it.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I've been at the border of Texas, but that was in where was it? It was a few different places, Halega or something, or I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head. But yeah, so I've definitely been to the border, and yeah, I mean, you can literally, like, the cartel compound, whole cartel compound was just like right across the river, and I'm like, you could literally, I'm not joking, you could literally throw a rock at it if you threw it hard enough.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is so weird, I'm talking to the
wall with like that spindly barbed wire over it, just like for miles.
Yeah. And there was like people walking out just like smoking a cigarette, and I'm like, this is so weird. And like, you guys can't do anything. No, it's Mexico, we can't do anything about it. Yeah. All we can do is like, guard our border, and that's it. And then they'll like send people over in the middle of the night, and I'm like, dude, this is crazy. So totally insane.
Well, cool. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed those segments there. It's really interesting about this. What is it called again? The Viveron.
Yeah, I've never. Is there like an image of this thing, Lindsay? Like,
not that I've found.
Just reports of it.
It's been seen as a ghost snake, so I don't think that's been captured on camera.
No, I mean, just like more of like a
prompt
drawing
snake to appear.
I mean, yeah, a lot of these images just show like a giant alligator, and I'm like, I don't think this.
No.
It's just not.
Those are just some of the fossils that have been found in the area.
Oh, you have a picture of the fossils?
No.
Oh.
But the jawbones and bones from this alligator-like creature have been found there, as well as other bones. So that's why people think it might have been a phytosaur, because they're trying to like explain this with modern science as opposed to
What's
any other
weird is,
explanation.
why are you trying to explain a ghost sighting with modern science?
Yeah, that's just what
That's
they do.
paradoxical. like modern science doesn't believe in ghosts. So,
It's got to be this giant alligator, even though described it as a snake. So.
anyone even saying or claiming they saw a giant snake would be made fun of by modern science. So why is modern science trying to figure it out by saying there was a massive phytosaur here in the past and that's what it was?
Especially because some accounts said it looked like a rattlesnake, which that did not.
Which that obviously is not an alligator. You know, I'm actually when I really started researching cryptids, I was blown away by how many there are in different cultures and different parts of the world that aren't found in other parts of the world. So, I mean, there's like hundreds of different cryptids that exist. And I could not believe, like, I'm like, wow, there's so many. So, and things that I've never even heard of, because like Haiti has like a whole bunch of weird cryptid stuff and whatnot. So,
what's in Haiti?
I don't remember the exact name of it now. I'm gonna have to look into it. But I was just looking at stuff, and then like the Japanese culture has one. In fact, I forget what they call it. It's something in Japanese, but it's specifically this like demonic thing that will randomly appear in like bathrooms at like public bathrooms or at certain
so this is an urban legend.
This is like an urban legend, like certain days of the month. And so
I got like weird visuals when you said that. Like this is freaky.
And then it could like show up and supposedly like eat people that are in the bathroom and then like just disappear, you know. This is like if people go like you know, we recently did that whole thing with Brian Schaefer, and I was talking to one of my friends who's really into this stuff in the area, and he was telling me about it, and I'm like, well, dude, I've never heard about this. And he's like, yeah, man, this thing could have like grabbed him, you know. And I'm like, wow, that's really weird to think
imagine about. Being a cryptid or an urban legend, and your thing was to show up into bathrooms at random times and eat people.
Just eat people.
Ben, your story about Brian Schaffer disappearing was in this episode, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah. So this is our most recent scary hauntings and mysteries that we published on Edge of Wonder on Rise TV. So you can watch it there, and we get into a whole bunch of stuff in this episode. Everything from Elsa, the haunted Disney doll, weird vanishings like Brian, and then also the Stanley Hotel. So pretty cool stuff.
All right, what about Haiti? Was there anything from Haiti that you?
I'm going to have to look it up again.
Remember when we were researching zombie powder?
Yes. Yeah.
That was from Haiti.
That there, like I said, there was like weird stuff. I think
there was a lot of that stuff. Came over and ended up in New Orleans, basically.
Yes.
What's zombie powder?
The zombie powder is a powder that reanimates the dead, allegedly. Yeah. That some of these shamans, these evil shamans, had concocted to reanimate the dead. Again, allegedly. I haven't seen any zombies yet, but I also haven't been in New Orleans yet, so maybe I need to go down there.
I've been really wanting to go down there too, because there's so many weird things.
To see a zombie or to eat, food.
Maybe both.
Right. Right. The only place you can get a fried shrimp po' boy and then go down the street and see a zombie.
Yeah, we can definitely do a show on cryptids that people have never heard of all around the world, because there are definitely weird ones. So, like, seriously, every culture has different.
Have you ever heard of Dogman Island?
No.
There is a thing called Dogman Island in Louisiana. Dogman Island. Allegedly, like the people on the swamps that go, hunting for food on the swamps all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain island that none of them will go near at a certain time. Like as soon as it gets sundown, they just stay away.
Wow.
And so this one guy I was watching, I was like listening to an interview of this guy, and he was curious, and he was like, well, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to hunt this thing. And so he starts, he's in the area, and all of these like guys, you know, in their boats with the fans, they start leaving the area and they're just looking at him like, are you fucking crazy? You know? And he's asking people, he's like, where's Dog Island? Like, where's Dogman Island? And they just wouldn't even talk to him because they were just like, you're crazy. And apparently, so like he found this area, and I actually found it on a map because he said it was about a half hour away from this one city. So I started looking around the city, and in the swamp, indeed, there was an area called Dog Island Pass. And then it said where Dog Island was, and I think it's there. And he said that what he saw that day, he was like, I was lucky to get out alive. And he's like, I will never look for this thing again.
Weird.
Yeah.
So it's not on the map?
No, it is.
It is on the map.
Well,
Okay.
I think it is, but
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't go down there, and I don't.
Yeah. No, I know you didn't go
Dogman
down there, but
anytime.
I just didn't know if you could like find it on a map or not, or if it's called something else.
But you know, apparently the locals are very aware of this thing, and everyone knows about it, and everyone can talk about it, but they don't promote it really because it's like, well, what's the point? It's a local
Right.
thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was my brother's experience too when he saw like the Rougarou.
The Rougarou, yeah.
Yeah. Which
That's
is
like
all. Which
Cajun
also
version
could
of
be
the werewolf.
Yeah, or it could be like a Dogman werewolf.
It
kind of
is.
thing.
They're all
they're all kind of this similar thing. I mean, they could literally be from that island. That'd be really weird.
Well, I think they're.
Hmm.
I actually think they're everywhere. From the reports, I've listened to tons of interviews, and they're in many, many places. Like the Beast of Bray Road in Wisconsin, super weird. Then you've got like the what is it called? The Benton Triangle in Vermont or whatever. I can't remember the name of it, but all of these areas have sightings. And then even in New York, in places that you've been in New York, there have been sightings in those areas. Yeah, like where you used to live.
Yeah.
Crazy.
There's a whole lot, actually. Yeah, I keep trying to like go out looking for things, but
Do not go looking for one of those.
no, that I would not want to.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, because
Go ahead.
there's also
As long as it's not the Yeti Bigfoot, the one from the north. Stay away from that.
Pine Bush is in New York, and that's like a massive UFO hotspot. You and I went there early.
I remember we went to a diner there, didn't we?
We went to a diner there. Yeah.
We were asking them about like if they had heard of UFO stuff, and they were like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was like called like Saucer Diner. I don't know. It was like a whole alien themed diner, but they were like, yeah, we just work here. You don't really know, it's just this theme. And I'm like, no one knows, really?
Yeah. I was really expecting more of an answer from that waitress.
Yeah, I was too.
It's Bennington Triangle. Thank you. That's the one. Bennington Triangle in Vermont.
There's actually a lot of different triangles all around the world, actually.
There are.
We're going to be doing the ghost ships this Thursday, the first one of the ghost ships. And that one's more about the Bermuda Triangle, but the second one is more of the worldly aspect. And I was like, yeah, I couldn't believe how many these like so-called like Bermuda Triangle like places exist all around the world. So yeah, it's
that episode's coming out next week, but do you want to show the trailer for the one that came out this week?
Oh yeah, that's right. It's already out this week. I'm sorry, I forgot. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's show the trailer, and then we'll come back and we'll be getting into some fun Halloween facts.
From a haunted doll that won't go away
to the mysterious disappearance of a college student,
from the infamous Stanley Hotel
to a message in a tombstone.
There's plenty to keep you up at night, so sit back, grab a friend, and huddle up by the campfire, because these stories will chill you to the bone.
In this episode of Edge of Wonder, join us as we get spookier and peer into the paranormal world.
Our world is full of mysteries, unexplained phenomena, metaphysical encounters, and of course, divine miracles that can't be explained.
And they might just leave you frozen in fear, like our first mystery on the list, the haunted Elsa doll.
All right.
So, yeah, you guys, you can find that right now on rise.tv. And this month we're doing a whole series of like Halloween specials. But one of the cryptids I was trying to think of Haiti is, instead of the Rougarou, it's the Lougarou.
Yeah,
which
the
is
Lougarou.
which is basically kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
It's
different accents. One is Cajun, one is French.
Yeah, basically that's it. But in Haiti, this thing is, but it could also be described as a half bird or half of like any animal, but mostly a werewolf people associate it with. So,
wait, so the Rougarou could be a half bird?
Well, in Haiti, they're saying it could be like a half
chimera
wolf
or whatever.
What? I'm sorry?
Like a chimera where it has like different parts of different cryptids. Like
yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too.
Cryptid chimera. I have the face of Bigfoot, the hooves of a dog man,
Yes,
scales of a lizard man, and the wings of Mothman.
Yeah, basically they just call it a werewolf, though. I mean, that's yeah. But they have a whole bunch of other stuff like weird monkey kind of creatures that look kind of like Bigfoot, and whatnot. But
one of the weirdest cryptids I've ever heard of is in Washington State. There is an ape-like creature that's been seen with a cat face, or it's a cat with an ape face.
Really?
Which? Yeah, which is like super weird. It's like sometimes when I hear the sightings, I'm like, that's so stupid. You have to be serious, because like, why would you just make that up? I actually believe you more telling me it's a cat face on an ape, because why would you make that up? That's ridiculous.
So that Japanese cryptid, I was trying to think of the name of it. I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce it right, but it's Cheuksin, like Chukskin, something like that. Anyway,
can somebody pull this up, Lindsay? Could you
also called the toilet goddess? Korean. I'm sorry, it's Korean, not Japanese. Sorry. So
about that one. He's a plumber. I like it.
That is hilarious.
I went into the bathroom and I swear I was destroyed by the toilet goddess. I'd never seen anything like that come out of me in my life.
Oh, anyway, really funny stuff. There's not a whole lot of information about it. It's on.
Can you bring this up, Lindsay? Is it possible?
She's trying to find it. I'm trying to find it too.
What?
Can you say it again?
Spell
Yeah. Here, hold on. Let me pull up this link real quick. Hold on. I'll put this in the doc.
Okay.
Just 1 second.
Oh yeah, the Chuuksin.
Yeah.
There are no photos here, though.
No, like I said, there's not a lot of information. I've been trying to find some information.
Very elusive Korean Chukskin. No one's ever gotten a photo of it because all of those who were on the can when it appeared were eaten.
Yeah, it was believed to appear as a young virgin with long hair, and The goddess, infuriated at her exile to the outhouse by the supreme deity, said to spend time counting her hairs, basically, and then she became like, angry, and so she started. She would
Dude.
attack. So like, if a child fell into
Lindsay,
the
we can
toilet
hear you
pit-
typing.
So
Very
anyway, this is like it's like an old Korean mythology kind of thing. So anyway, there's, like I said, there's not a lot of information. Like, I've never even heard of this before, and so, yeah, I was just like, what is this? So I think she's having a hard time finding anything about it. So I don't know. I'll keep looking around and see what I.
Oh, looks like Ben is having a little issue here.
Ben's frozen.
He's gone. Well, we should probably get into these records that you've got. Hey, Ben.
Hey, I don't know what happened there.
We're just transitioning into these world records that from Halloween that Lindsay found that are like pretty incredible.
Mhm.
You didn't look at any of them, did you?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay, but don't.
So, okay.
I want to ask you. So,
Yeah.
what do you think the world's heaviest pumpkin ever grown was?
I know, like, actually, I remember a couple years ago, this guy won this like pumpkin thing, and it was a really big pumpkin. So, if I don't know specifically, I would have to at least like a couple 100 pounds. Like,
Okay, so give me like your best guesstimate.
let's say like 200 pounds.
Okay, it's a good guess.
Okay.
You were about 2,500 pounds off.
2,500 pounds off.
No,
Okay.
it is 2,749 pounds. The world's biggest ever grown pumpkin.
Oh yeah, it's like a car. What am I thinking? Yeah, I said like 200 pounds, but really,
Insane.
because even a 200-pound pumpkin wouldn't be that big. So wow, that's
Look at the size of that thing.
that is huge.
It's the size of your of like
They named it Michael Jordan.
the goat. The goat of pumpkins. Look at that thing, man. Look at how excited that guy is in the back. You know, I was watching this. This documentary when they were where they were weighing these,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the guys that came close to winning, he was like, "Well, I was a farmer and I retired a few years ago, and I had nothing to do, and I think I was bothering my family, so they all told me to get a hobby." And he was like, "So I started growing pumpkins." He grew a pumpkin that was like 2,400 pounds.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, how do you grow a pumpkin that big? You guess
right.
it just keeps growing?
Lindsay,
even know.
before I ask Ben this next one, can you tell me what a pumpkin boat is?
Someone said, "Oh my gourd." It's funny.
It's a boat made out of a pumpkin, of course.
Literally a boat made out of a pumpkin. So it's like, if you take this like 2,000-pound pumpkin and carve
No, but
it.
are you just cutting the pumpkin in half, coring it, and then letting that float? Or are you saying that the boat, like a big boat, is made out of pumpkin parts? What are you saying?
It's a very large pumpkin that they carved so that you can sit in it, and there are contests for who can travel the farthest distance in their pumpkin boat.
Wow. Okay, Ben, how far do you think that someone traveled in one of these pumpkin boats?
I wish there was a photo of it. That would be a little bit. Oh, is this it?
There you go.
Okay. I mean, so in reality, man, you can go, I don't know, I'll say like, also depends on where they're how far the lake is or where they're traveling. I don't know. I'll say like 12 miles.
Okay, you're closer this time. 25.5 miles is the world record in a pumpkin boat.
Miles.
Yeah. It's pretty far.
Actually, I don't even know if you really need to carve it out. It might just be buoyant.
No,
you'd
have to. You'd have to.
In there.
They did carve out enough to stick their legs in it.
Okay.
That's it? That's crazy. I thought they'd have to core the entire thing.
Some of them may have been able to sit all the way in them, but it looks like he's sitting on the edge. But you'd also get pretty tired after 25 miles, so maybe that's why.
True.
Okay. All right, now on to the more terrifying for Ben type stuff. The largest collection of haunted dolls.
Yeah, dolls, man.
That's right. Now, where do you hear this story? This story is chilling. Mexico's island of the dolls, La Isla de las How do you pronounce that? Monesas? The tiny isle houses thousands of broken, mutilated, and decaying dolls hanging from virtually every tree and bush.
Oh my gosh.
All right, ready for this? This story.
Yeah.
This is the story. This collection began when a hermit named Don Julian Santa Barrera moved there during the 1950s. He claimed that he was being haunted by the ghost of a young girl who had drowned in one of the canals surrounding the island 3 decades earlier. To appease and occupy her restless spirit, he began placing dolls around the island. Ironically, ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, Don Julian met his own death in 2001 by drowning in the very same canal where the girl had died.
Whoa, that is
Yeah.
freaky, man.
The island of the dolls is now a tourist attraction, and locals claim that at night the dolls come to life. Chucky, dude.
Dude, this is literally a place of nightmares.
Animated by the spirit of the dead and begin to call, whisper, move their limbs, and turn their heads of their own accord. That's freaky.
I've never even heard of this place.
I haven't.
Wow, no idea that this existed. So what's the question? Like, how many dolls are on this
No,
thing?
there's no question here. I just wanted to tell you about this crazy place.
Oh, okay.
The next record will have a question.
Yeah, I've got
Oh, okay. I thought it was like how many dolls are on there, and I was like, I don't know, like maybe 7,000. That would be insane, though.
All right, now let me ask you a question. What is the highest grossing ghost/haunting movie of all time?
This is hard.
You'll never get this.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought is like The Exorcist or something like that, but it's like, but I don't know if it's like counting all the like the prequel or all the ones that came afterwards or whatever. You're just talking about one single movie though, right? Yeah, I mean, I would say something like that, something that's really iconic. But what's the answer?
You want me to give you a hint?
Yeah.
Ben sees dead people.
Oh, Sixth Sense?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It could potentially be just because this was like a very groundbreaking movie, because this is one of the very first times like a major plot. I mean, you have movies with plot twists in it, but not quite the extreme as like Sixth Sense took it.
Oh yeah, that was just like punched everyone in the face.
Yeah, I mean, there's like been a lot of books prior to that too. I mean, even what was it? Fight Club, which came out roughly around. I mean, I think it also came out in '99. And the book was written prior to that, so I mean that was a major plot twist too. But I think that, and I think just the whole concept of what Sixth Sense represents. I don't know if I would really say it was a horror movie.
No, it was a ghost/haunting movie, because
it
really was, because I mean,
that's true.
Dead people, they're like telling them how to resolve their being dead.
Yeah,
and then so it was a thriller, like a psychological thriller more than a haunting movie, but it was still it was about that,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I actually saw that in a theater.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, when it came out, and
see dead people. Poor kid.
When she dropped the ring, that's when I was like, wait a minute, something weird is going on here. So yeah, I think it just shocked. So the movie grossed $673 million by 2000.
Wait a minute. I got to read this comment. This is from Bella. She said, "I'm terrified of dolls. When I was little, a haunted porcelain doll legit haunted my best friend and I. It came alive at night and could turn its head and eyes."
Dude, that's freaky.
Dude, that doll would not make it through the night if I was there.
Yeah, my
I
friend had the same thing happen
my
to her.
Forerunner over that thing.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said I would put that on the back of my Forerunner and back over it.
Yeah, my friend had the same thing, like Miss Piggy. Like she swears like that's what was happening with her Miss Piggy doll, and she wanted her parents to like get rid of it, and they wouldn't.
Come on, get rid of the Miss Piggy doll.
They're like, oh, this is all in your head, you know, and that's like what you say to kids when they're saying these things, and that's why yeah, I definitely would not.
I would not say that.
It's funny because like there's so many people I know that have kids that do see certain things, and you know, it's like I'm talking to the parents like, yeah, don't think they're crazy, you know, like actually like, you know, tell them it's okay, and you know, let's try to, but don't have them like don't like have a panic attack.
Put that doll in a furnace and burn it until it's gone.
Yeah, that
you gotta do. And tell that spirit to go find peace elsewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Seriously.
Okay. All right. Do we need to go over this mathematical model for surviving a zombie attack? Let's get through
Yes,
that.
you do.
Okay. Yeah, let's get through this. Yeah.
All right. You're going to pull this up, I assume, Lindsay?
So this is in the Guinness Book of World Records.
That's right.
They've literally created a mathematical model for how to survive a zombie attack and what would happen. So these are different like graduate students from mostly in Canada.
Yeah. From Carleton University in Ottawa and the University of Ottawa, Canada. They published their first mathematical investigation of the zombie. Okay, so according to their mathematical model, a zombie outbreak is likely to lead to the collapse of civilization unless it's dealt with quickly. While aggressive quarantine may contain the epidemic or a cure may lead to coexistence of humans and zombies, the most effective way to contain the rise of the undead is to hit hard and hit often. I like the way this is going. If an infection breaks out in a city of 500,000 people, the theory goes the zombies will outnumber the living in about 3 days. Only sufficiently frequent attacks with increasing force will result in eradication, the authors conclude, assuming the available resources can be mustered in time. Their data was based on traditional zombie movies and authors to hypnotize the effect of a zombie attack.
Hypothesize.
Oh, excuse me. Why did I say hypnotize?
What if you can hypnotize a zombie?
And authors to hypothesize the effect of a zombie attack and its impact on human civilization.
That's hilarious. My brother has an illegal bat actually that he made personally.
Oh, the nails sticking out.
Yeah. Just like it's like he has like a mostly I think for fun, but he's like, I actually have like a zombie apocalypse kind of kit just in case. We were he was totally obsessed with zombie movies when we were like growing up, you know, because I never really wasn't that much into horror movies, but like he loved zombie movies more than anything else. So I've seen a few of them, but yeah.
Did you watch The Walking Dead at all?
I saw a couple episodes.
The first few seasons were pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
kind of that's more of like barbed wire, but it's like nails and spikes and stuff in it. So
I think that guy's name is Negan.
Yeah, you know, I actually read the graphic novel though. Like prior to the series coming out, so it's been a long time. But yeah, the graphic novel was really good. It actually, I mean, the core of it was more of like more afraid of other humans than the zombie actually. Yes. Because when something like that happens, like you don't know really how other humans are going to react, or if they're like hungry, and it's like, are they going to attack you for like food or what you have? So that's kind of an interesting premise of it.
Well, it looks like it's time to go over to rise.tv here, where you can ask your questions to Ben and I, whatever it may be. Are you curious about what would happen or the different scenarios that you'd have to go through if you were sitting on a toilet and a cryptid showed up to eat you? Ask your questions. Ben and I.
What would you do?
Yeah. We'll take you through all the scenarios on rise.tv. Actually, we have a really, really awesome Halloween campaign going on right now, where we've got tons of Halloween content that we've prepared for you guys just to entertain you in October. So if you have the means, we would love for you to come over and just subscribe to rise.tv, because it's like a lot of fun. We have the torso murders. Ben, what else did you write for?
So we have the Cleveland torso murders, which a lot of people haven't heard of. Then we have our special series about like haunted dolls, weird vanishings, message in a tombstone, and the Stanley Hotel. And then we have ghost ships part 1 and 2. The first one is all about ghost ships, weird vanishings, whether it's the whole ship that vanished or the entire crew that vanished without a trace, with the ship completely intact. So that's part 1. Part 2 is ghost ships all around the world and weird disappearances that happen. So
and we also have some exclusive metaphysical content that's just for you guys. We have the Ohio melon heads. We went into the crazy, creepy, just scientific mad scientist experiments of the Ohio melon heads, whether it was true or not, and what we found, and it will blow your mind. And then the other is dark entry forest in Connecticut, which has just sent so many people to the loony bin. And why is that? Where are these cursed lands? Is there something on the land? Well, we explore this in our episode, and it's not something you want to miss. So,
and also we have tons of Halloween series that Rob and I have done all throughout the years. We have so much Halloween stuff.
Werewolves.
Yeah.
Gosh, so many things.
Yeah. Halloween, like what the meaning of Halloween itself. And I have some stuff on my Ben Solo show that I even did about weird hauntings and cursed objects and stuff. So Salem witch trials, that's right. Yeah, so
that was nuts.
Yeah, and then like really what happened at the Salem witch trials. So we kind of go through all of it, and vampires and Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Order of the Dragon too. Man, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the weird history with the royal court in England. Yeah, that too.
It's bizarre.
And how it's related. The Windsor family. Yeah. So.
Well, hey, you guys, thanks for being with us. And why don't you come over there to rise.tv and we'll do the Q&A, and then we'll follow that up with a meditation and prayer.
See you guys over there.
Who was the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run? The Cleveland Torso murders are some of the most gruesome killings that have ever taken place in America. Some believe it was worse than Jack the Ripper's crimes.
On September 5th, 1934, this small, forsaken neighborhood that probably would have faded away into oblivion etched its name in history.
And the weird part is that there were very suspicious circumstances revolving around the suspects, which adds even more mystery to these horrible crimes.
Little did they know at the time that this would end up becoming the biggest investigation in the Cleveland Police Department's history.
because this is an Edge of Wonder Halloween special, and I promise we'll try to make you laugh through this dark topic. Welcome to Edge of Wonder, where the weird gets even weirder. You know, out of all the craziest theories out there, none is more fascinating than the idea that giant reptilian beings, serpent people, Dracos, lizard people, or more formally, reptoids, could really exist.
Yeah, this is one creature that a lot of us have a hard time grasping. Are there really shape-shifting lizard beings controlling things behind the scenes? Or even controlling people?
Well, if you said yes to that question, then congratulations. According to an article from The Wire, you're one of the 12 million people who believe reptilians are not only real, but are even controlling politics. And if you believe that, then you're branded a paranoid, raging conspiracy theorist / lunatic who is dangerous to society.
Well, Ben, that is what the media would call you if they were secretly being controlled by reptilian aliens, right? Of course, this poll was taken back in 2013, and a lot's changed in 10 years.
Yeah, that 12 million people might have even doubled now. But whether or not you believe in the most extreme theories, the concept of strange reptoid beings ever existing is still a fascinating topic to dig into.
So is this all a giant hoax, or is there actually something to this reptilian agenda?
Some good questions here.